Scotland threw that game away, didn't they? England versus Scotland, and I said it in the last video, but so far in this round three of the Six Nations, the two teams that didn't deserve to win the game won it. My God, England did not deserve to win that game. Scotland actually clicked. If Scotland played like that against Ireland, they would have beaten us. Where was that Scottish team? How did that backline not click? I'm glad it didn't, but they showed us what they're capable of. And I was joking about how some Scottish fan told me you could make an argument for each Scottish player starting in the back line in the Lions team, and I was like, ah, jeez, now that's going a bit far. On that performance, you could definitely make an argument for that. They were very good, bar Finn Russell, who cost them that game, and I've been saying it. I don't like his attitude. I don't know him as a person, so I'm not going to say I don't like him as a person, but I feel like he hampers that team. I really do, and you're never going to not pick him because Gregor Townsend has a soft spot for him, and you get a lot of backlash if you didn't start him. But the best players for that Scottish team today were Tom Jordan, who I thought was brilliant. I thought Tom Jordan was excellent. Hugh Jones was very good. I thought Tom Jordan was even better, and Hugh Jones is excellent and got a try. So that just shows you. I thought the back three were very good for Scotland. Duhan, Van der Merwe, and getting a try. He loved him and Hugh Jones. It's actually gas because towards the end of the game, Van der Merwe put himself ahead of Hugh Jones for tries against England. Hugh Jones just equalled the try scoring record against England with Duhan. Both of them were very good. I thought Kyle Rowe was very good on the right wing. I thought he burst through tackles very well. I thought he broke tackles excellently. I just said the same thing, I know, but he was very good in the air. That tackle on Ollie Chesham, don't look at that one. If you're going to look at tackle technique, look at Finn Smith on Tom Jordan. That was really good technique, but England were very poor. Scotland should have won that game, and they would have done had Finn Russell taken his kicks. Like, I'm sorry, but you call yourself the Messi of rugby, you cannot miss three conversions. Two from out wide, look, fair enough, but you got one that wasn't that difficult, and he put it very far wide, and then it nearly curled back, but it would have only skimmed off the post, if even. Like, it's not good enough, and I don't feel like he gives you enough on the pitch. Like, I don't think he does anything that Tom Jordan couldn't do a fly half. Ben White was very good at scrum half, runs some really great lines. And Ben White's been unlucky to miss out on my team of the week a few times. But I think he'll definitely get into this one. He was very good. And like I say, why couldn't Scotland have brought this game against Ireland? I thought they were going to bring that performance that they gave against England against us, which is why I said it was going to be a tight game, and I was wrong. Um, like if I were Gregor Townsend, and thank God I'm not, I don't like the man, but just don't like. I think he feeds Finn Russell's ego, and when Stuart Hogg was in that Scottish team, I'd say it was a very toxic place to be. Um, but I mean, Tom Jordan showed just how much of a creator he is. And I think he can kick off the tee as well. He couldn't do any worse than Russell did. Blair Kinghorn can kick off the tee as well. Showed he's pretty capable, especially from distance. And that's how he kept Toulouse in the game against Leinster, by kicking from distance off the tee. So, and he was good. I never denied he was a good player, but he doesn't bring it. They don't bring it on the big occasion. Tom Jordan could go in at 10. You could have Stafford McDowell at 12, who was very good off the bench, made a great break, for that final try for Duhan. Duhan van de Move. When they got moves going, they looked very dangerous. And that's what you want. You want your backline scoring tries. Scotland kicked the least, whereas England kicked the most in the Six Nations. So like that's what you want. You want players keeping the ball in hand, throwing it around, and like Russell has the ability to throw some brilliant passes. He really does. But you give me a fly half that can't throw a good pass, that's not a fly half. Tom Jordan can do everything that Finn Russell can do, and more. I feel. Um, I wonder, and we were only talking about this, like me and my family, if Gregor Townsend wasn't the coach for Scotland, do you think they'd be better off? Do you think they'd have more free reign and not have to play to Finn Russell's tune all the time? Like, he gets one of those, like just one conversion, and they win that game 17-16. Like, England did not deserve that. I feel like England got the rub of the green against Scotland a lot. Itoje got a jackal penalty when he clearly reached over the top of the ruck, and I will give credit to Russell where it's due. He made a few really good carries, and he rucked very well in that, like for a fly half. He got himself in a great low position. They said he wasn't supporting his own body weight. I'm going to back him up on this. He was. Itoje was lying on top of him, pushing him into the ground. The ball is not out. It's between Russell's legs, and that means the ball's not out. The ref didn't call ball out, so Itoje cannot jump over that ruck and play that ball. But the ref just goes, fuck it, you can have it. Pierre Brousset, I think his name is. That was a bad call. I really felt like that was a harsh call against Scotland. And then I've already called out Itoje for diving. Ben Curry, you should be ashamed of yourself. That was pathetic. Ewan Ashman got penalised for taking out Ben Curry. That was fucking pathetic. If that knocks you over as a back rower, then you're playing in the wrong position, you know. And I've done that in a game where a lad gets in your way and you just shove them out of the way, you know. You don't go down like you've been fucking shot. That stuff is creeping into rugby. Darren Cave was commentating on it. I was watching it on RTE, and he's dead right. He said, you're never going to get away with that if you're Ewan Ashman, but I'm on Ewan Ashman's side. I think he's a very good player. I don't know how he's not starting. Him and Johnny Matthews are the best Scottish hookers I've seen. Dave Cherry is not a patch on either of them. I don't know why he's in the team, but Johnny Matthews is a top try scorer as well in the URC, or at least he was when I was analysing the Scottish team, and he's a good attacking hooker as well. But I feel for Ewan Ashman in that one. He was a tough, hardy bastard, you know, in fairness to him. A big Canadian lumberjack. But like he barged into Ben Curry slightly. That's not enough to knock you over. And Darren Cave said if Ben Curry doesn't dive, he doesn't get a penalty. Absolutely. And you don't fucking dive, you stay on your feet. I've had people barge into me as well. You're like, what are you fucking doing? You just bump into them, but you don't dive like you've been shot. That's football stuff. That's shameful. Really is. I really hate that shit creeping in. Then again, when your captain is Itoje and he's leading the example, I feel like Scotland were hard done by a few times. I feel like Jamie Ritchie was excellent. 3 really good jackal turnovers. I've been singing Rory Darge's praise, but Ritchie was the better flanker for them today. Would have liked to have seen a bit more from Jack Dempsey. I feel like he has more in the tank. But the Scottish backline, jeez, much better than the England backline. Like Ollie Lawrence is a fella who's gotten in my team of the week and was very good in the last 2 games. He only had 1 break, and Scotland kept him at bay for most of the game. Henry Slade, I wouldn't have him in the team. I think Freddie Stewart can play 12, and he can kick and he can go up for the ball. He's a physical presence. I feel like him not being in the England team, they lose out on an awful lot. Not overly impressed with Marcus Smith again. I feel like he's getting too big for his boots. You know, he's getting way too cocky. Him and Finn Russell would have been my 2 front runners for the Lions jersey. Now they've dropped way down. Is anyone else thinking that the fly halves for the British and Irish Lions are shite? So like the home nations, you know, like so Ireland, Scotland, England, and Wales. Those 4 nations you think would produce great fly halves. I'm not overly impressed by any of them at all. Prendergast, he's still very young, a long way to go. I think he shows good composure for a young man. Like to pull it back after it being a difficult game today against Wales with no real platform. Like 5 out of 8 kicks, you know. They weren't all easy, to be fair to him, but I feel like if he gets a 6 out of 8 kick ratio, that's a lot better. I feel like Jack Crowley should have come on much sooner. I don't know why he wasn't on sooner, to be honest with you, but I guess they wanted to steady the ship. Andrew Porter had to stay on for big minutes again. I feel like Jack Boyle proved that he should be coming on sooner. He has a lot to give and an exciting prospect. There was a counter ruck for Ireland that was very good. Do you remember that one where Tyke Byrne, so honest, he just looked at it and I was there thinking, like, what was he doing? He picks it up in one hand, then puts it back down. The ref's like, no, the steal was good. Christoph Ridley. I feel like Christoph Ridley very harsh for that red card against Ringrose. He would get a ban for that. I think that's pathetic, to be honest with you. But it's not the reason Ireland would have lost that game. They were shy, but they didn't need to be great to win it. But the England Scotland game, I feel like Scotland were good enough to win, but they shot themselves in the foot. Ewan Ashman, like, yeah, he got penalised for that pathetic dive by Ben Curry, but he also threw the ball behind the back, and it went forward. And you're like, Duan van der Merwe, I felt his pain. He was like, oh, because you're there, like, we don't need to throw that stupid pass. We don't need it. We need to keep the ball. If we keep the ball, we can score here. We've proven we're good enough to cut England open. I had a feeling that Scotland could cut England open, and they did. I was right about that, at least, if not the result. I felt it was going to be a high scoring game, and it certainly wasn't. That try that England did get was not a try either. There's not enough evidence to tell me that was grounded. I feel like that was held up over the line. I feel like Scotland can feel very aggrieved, but 1 second, just take. People want to say like I've been hard on Scotland. I agree, but let me put it to you: why don't they play like that every week? They weren't very good against Italy, but they got the job done. They were terrible against Ireland, and they certainly didn't get the job done. They were very poor. But today, they brought the tempo. They looked like a great team that could carve anyone open. And I think they should bring that against France, and they might beat them. Gonna be tough though. The French are not going to be any pushovers. I think they have them in the last game, don't they? Because we'll get them next week. So yeah, Scotland will have France last. Just thinking now. Scotland. No, Scotland would still have to play France, don't they? They haven't played Wales yet either, so they'll play Wales. Yeah, they'll play Wales next week. England will play Italy, and we will play France. Got it. And then we will play Italy on the last day. It's a bit anticlimactic if we beat France, because you imagine we'll beat Italy, but we did think we were going to hammer Wales, so we got to give respect. And Italy have been on the up for sure, so that game is not a foregone conclusion. Maybe it's to kick up the hole that we need, But I fancy Scotland could get a result against France if they show up like they did today. They're more than capable. They should have won that game, and now it's going to sound harsh. I know England shouldn't have had that try. That was not a try by Tommy Freeman. He didn't ground that ball, and I think he knew it himself. Very harsh goal. But the things you can control, Russell only need to get one conversion, and they would have won that game. That's the reality of it. That's like 5 years against England where they've been unbeaten, which is some record, and it's in Twickenham as well. So, they shot themselves in the foot, and I feel like Russell just costs that team time and time again. On his day, yeah, he can be brilliant, but when's his day? In some pointless game against Australia in the autumn series. I don't know. I feel like the Scottish second rows did a good job in the line out and around the field. They're not the most exciting players, Johnny Gray and Grant Gilchrist, but they put in a good shift. Fagerson did something like 75 minutes. It's only further staking his claim for the Lions jersey. Don't even know if you could say Ty Furlong deserves it unless he comes back for the next 2 games and has an absolute stormer, Shane looked out on his feet today. Yeah. I have to say, I'm not overly excited about this Lions tour given the poor quality of the home nations. I'm gonna do my recalibrated Lions team based on injuries, based on who's available and who's not. But it's basically a process of elimination where I'm picking who's the least shit, There's been some players that have been outstanding, but they've not been consistent. And I think that's the big thing. No one has been consistent. Not really, where England have been very strong is in the back row with their tackles. That won them the game against France, and they put us under the cosh in Dublin. But they were poor today, and I feel like they were finally, there were a couple of breakdown turnovers, like a couple of jackals that they were rightfully pinged. Ben Earl got away with a few against us, whereas Nee clearly touches the ground. Then he goes for the ball. He got away with them, but he didn't get away with them today, and he went straight off his feet. That obnoxious cheer that he does, I fucking hate that shit. Oh, it's why I feel like we should have done that when he dropped that ball against us in Dublin. It's just, yeah, fuck it. But yeah, I'm not overly excited, guys, by today's two games. England have won 2 weeks in a row at 1 point, so I guess that shows something, doesn't it? But had me bored out of my tits. Oh, but look, hopefully tomorrow's a better game, and hopefully next weekend will be even better because it can't be any worse. Alright, guys, see you in the next one.